Nowadays, almost every new game has fancy RTX ray tracing graphics, but do you know which game doesn't? That's right, Clash of Clans. I mean, the quality of the graphics hasn't improved in like 10 years. And then I realized, wait, I'm a 3D artist, so why don't I make Clash of Clans support ray tracing? And maybe I can convince some of the developers at Supercell to implement it into the real game. Now, I only had 3 days to create a whole village in 3D because I'm going to the Blender conference in 1 week. So I chose a Town Hall 2 base because the higher levels have way too many buildings. Once I had all the reference material laid out, I jumped into Blender and deleted the default cube. I started with a cannon. I used a cylinder as the bottom plate and placed planks on top. Then I made the legs. The barrel is just a stretched cylinder with loop cuts. Beveling the sharp edges is really important to make everything nice and smooth. I showed the technique for making ropes in my last Blender tips video. The cannon is done, but I still have to model 9 more buildings. Next, I made the elixir pump. The main body is just a 6-sided cylinder with some extrusions. The pump part is 3 little cylinders. For the pipes, I extruded a single vertex, converted it to a curve and increased the bevel depth. And I modeled the wheel. The elixir pump is done. The town hall was surprisingly quick to model. Then I made the barracks, the thing where the troops are made. I modeled the sword for the roof and used these squished cubes with a Boolean modifier to create these little cuts in the blade. The gold mine was just a few planks and some rocks, and then I made the gold and elixir storage. For the builder's hut, I just reused most of the barracks model and just replaced the roof. Then the archer tower, and lastly the campfire, which was pretty easy. When I say these models are easy, I don't mean that I just click 3 buttons and the model is done. They still take time. At this point I had been modeling for like 7 hours non-stop. But I still had to do the texturing, the lighting and the rendering. So I assigned materials, UV unwrapped the models and exported the scene to Substance Painter. Here I applied 8K PBR ray tracing ready textures and everything started coming together. I made the elixir slightly emissive to make the pink pop more. Then I realized that I forgot to model the stone walls, so I quickly did that and applied a fancy material. I filled up the gold storage and used a screenshot to line up the layout of the village. Then I applied a texture to the ground and grew some grass. If I tried to make a forest of real 3D trees, my computer would probably hate me, so I only imported an image of different trees and created a super low poly forest for the background. Adding fog is always a great idea, which I did by using the mist pass. I added some obstacles to the background and planted some taller grass beneath the buildings, just like my friends at Supercell did. The camera animation was my least favorite part because it took forever, but after tweaking a few settings for like 10 hours, rendering for 15 hours and then color grading in After Effects, this is what I ended up with. If you want to see more of this, subscribe to my channel. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to download the 3D assets I created, you can join my Patreon. And if you want to learn how to make 3D scans on your phone without any skill, watch this video.